I joined a mastermind 8 years ago whose fees scared me to the core. I was either going to be the smartest or the dumbest. It was going to be the smartest or the dumbest thing I've ever done. In fact, I have remained a member for 8 years. And the investment, by the way, hasn't gone down. In fact, it's gone up. But never will there be a wiser investment than working with somebody who's done it before, done the thing that you want to do, specifically in health and fitness, where marketing, claims, credibility are unique in order to have you have a bigger vision and, pardon my French, get shit done, the right shit done. Because anybody else experienced this? I experienced this a lot, significantly, even in the first couple of years of my mastermind. But I was running hard. I was really running hard. But the problem is, what if you're running hard and you're running in the wrong direction? You're doing so much. You're working so hard. But what if you're working on the wrong things? That should really make you scared. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to She Means Fitness Business. It's a division of my business, Voice for Fitness, where we believe you want to be an inspirational example to other midlife women yourself. And in order to do that, you need a profitable health and fitness coaching business. And the problem usually is a lack of clients, lack of traffic, or you're charging too little. And I can help with both. And I understand exactly how it feels. I started over at 49. Always been helping, but not ever been helping in a way that I was starting over, gutting my business because I literally rebranded, left safety and security. So now I was doing 100% of the time, and it had to work. I mean, there was no other revenue and income. This had to work, and I was going to start paying college tuition in 8 months. And so every semester, that doesn't go down either, that price. So this is my story. This is how I have done everything that I've done and how I am sharing with you exactly how you can too. And I created a scorecard for health and fitness professionals so you can see exactly where your holes right now might be. So I'd love to meet with you on a call to see if one-on-one works for you. But first, just go and download that scorecard. You'll find it in today's show notes. So it will be right there for you. And I will link to that easily. It is fitnessmarketingmastery.com/scorecard. And I'm going to apologize right now. So this is real life. This is real reality. We often run our businesses now from our homes, recording my podcast in my podcast studio with a puppy in my lap who does not want to be in my lap, but I cannot let him down on the floor. So if you're feeling a little rustling in the wires, you are not mistaken. Please don't be irritated, because if you could see his face, he is so darn cute. So that's his saving grace right now. All right. This year, by the way, in this mastermind that I belonged to, that I felt like a total imposter 8 years ago, maybe even 7 while I was a member. I was the example given in a room full of 400 to 500 practitioners, many of them functional medicine doctors. I was the example for here's the path for building your business. The image of here's how you expand, not how you start, not how you then grow, but the next step and the next step after that. They put up, exactly how I run my business and all of the little pieces of the freebies and the programs and the membership and how it works. And as I built it, and that was just, it was a surreal moment, to tell you the truth, because even then, I will tell you that being in that moment, getting accolades from my peers, people that I have respected, still feel a little bit like, should they really be using my business as an example? And it in a way, it takes that to have you step in. You have to have that moment where I don't feel like I deserve this, in order to get the recognition that you need in order to get the confidence that you absolutely have to have. So I want you to point out that I want to point out to you, can you see what holding a puppy in your lap does to you? I want to point out that, even in a room full of doctors. And I mentioned, functional medicine doctors and coaches, psychologists, biohackers. You all recognize Bulletproof Coffee or Danger Coffee by Dave Asprey. He was in the room. There are many others who are, products that you would readily probably have in your pantry. And the designers and makers of those things were in the room. It was a fantastic place to be. But even some of those people stood up. And one of them in particular, who was there from St. Lucia, came in and said, I look the way I look and I feel the way I feel at 55 because I've been listening to Deborah Atkinson's podcast, following her recommendations. And there was nothing more surreal and rewarding than that. I mean, first of all, it was my business up on the screen, but second, to actually hear from customers, I know that lights you up and it does me too. So we're going to talk about how you grow your business so you can get more of that, more of those things that light you up. And I know it may not be the sales, it may not be the marketing piece that lights you up, but I want to explain to you how, if you can reframe around it. And if you're just busy, but you're not growing your health business, this is for you. Let's say you're a serial entrepreneur. Maybe you've never thought of yourself that way. But if you get passionate about something and then you tend to switch gears, but not necessarily see it through, this is exactly linked. If you're busy, but you're not growing your health business, and you get passionate about an idea, and then it doesn't really go, and then you move on to the next thing, the reason you're not growing is because you're not staying with an idea long enough. You have to really dive in. And definitely there are times when we need to throw things away. It's not working. You maybe started it because you thought this is what people need, and it might be, but nobody's going to buy that. People buy, you and I buy what we want. The number one reason your growth is slow is that you change what you're doing instead of doubling down on what's already working or even what's not working and committing to making it work. Years ago, after I had left a position I held for 6.5 years at a fitness center where I had grown the personal training program by at least $100,000 more revenue, by the way, for every year for 6 years straight. And this was, around the recession in 2008. The manager asked me to support the new personal training director in growing the program. She was struggling, and she shared some of the things with me that they had been trying. One of the trainers had spent just hours developing this program of videos and workout plans, and then they offered it and it fell flat. Nobody bought it. I asked what happened next, and crickets. And she looked blankly back at me. So I offered some ideas for what to do next. So please pay attention to this. So let's say you are offering a masterclass, or you're offering a program and you advertise it, and this particular program was due to launch in January. Now, if you have a program you think is going to work, that's a pretty darn good month. So timing is everything, yes, but something was wrong. Something was off with it. I would suggest you test the title. Is this a title that resonates with the people who really are the target market? What about the copy? Meaning the words. How do you start on the description of the program, on the sales page for the program, when you're talking about it with people? What words are you using? That's your copy. Have you tested the images that you're using to promote it? I mean, whose picture is on it? What does she look like? Does she look happy? Are you promoting it with pictures of dumbbells and inside of a gym, or pictures that illustrate transition that people are going to make, the transformation that they're going to have, the happiness, the freedom? There's something to be tested there. And the personal training director said, it's too late. He left the trainer because he couldn't make money and he was so disappointed. Don't let that be you. Either as that trainer or as the personal training director, or say you're the owner. Often you are the director as well, but you're mentoring others. Ask for help if you're out of your wheelhouse. So it's okay to be incredibly brilliant and knowledgeable, say about fitness or healthy protocols, and yet have never created an offer, launched a program, written copy, or selected images, or you don't know where to place them on the page for the eye to flow properly. Ask, ask, ask. Ask before you guess or spend your time or your money or your energy. You will lose momentum if you do all of this experimenting in a black hole, by yourself in isolation, and you'll rob the audience of you and the service that you have, of the gift to them, if you don't ask support. And that may be something that resonates with you better. You're robbing the people who need you, who need to work with you, of your service. If you keep stalling, pretending you know and pretending you'll get it, pretending you'll do it sometime later. Do it now, get help, accelerate it. How do you ask for help growing your health business? Listen, do it early. When you don't know business, know that the sooner you start right, the better. When you don't know what to ask this: how can I help you? That feels better, right? Most of us, I would say, one of the hardest things, there's two hard things that humans do. One is change anything, change our habits, change our morning routine. You know how it goes. We're just ingrained. And the second, I believe, for most of us, is asking for help. That is a real skill. Be able to do it, be able to admit it. And I will say at 59, it's far easier than it was at 49. We still have this feel, I think, that for a very long time that we need to know all the answers. There are certain people among us, the inventors, the innovators, who are curious people, and they are okay asking questions, asking for help, asking how something works a little bit more than others of us who feel like, well, I should know that. And that probably comes from something in your upbringing where you felt like you had to be good, and good was knowing all the right answers and doing well. And for some reason, you may feel like asking is something other people do, but you shouldn't. You should already know these things. And there's no possible way to be good at something you've never done before. And that's called an accident. A happy one if it happens, but it's not repeatable. You have to know why it worked, right? So beginner's luck is just that. It doesn't mean that you'll be able to do it again consistently and methodically, which is really what makes a business. So there's never a time not to ask. Simultaneously, there's never a time you can't ask somebody else how you can help them. If you want the short cliff notes on this episode, that would be it. Learn to ask and offer. Offer your help and support, and ask for what it is that you need. Be open and honest about your numbers. And to do that, you have to know them. Beyond knowing that you're not making enough, right? Know how much is enough. If you mentally don't have a number, and you also, by the way, want to say this or more, right? So open yourself up and let it be. This could be even better. Know how many of a product or a service you must sell to make it justifiable for you to even promote it, right? Know the value of your own time. So you want to consider, if you were going to hire somebody else with your skills and your talent, your experience, and pay them to run the program or do the coaching that you're going to do, how much would you have to pay them? Make sure you're not paying yourself any less than that. Even as you get started, yeah, we do some grunt work. We definitely do. But you don't want to do it for very long, because you're going to build a business that is unfortunately backing you into a corner. You want to know this. This is a mic drop moment. Few of us can afford to start our businesses with a low ticket offer. You can't start with a $25 PDF or a $25 a month membership unless you plan to sell 5,000 of them. And if you do, fantastic. But you need to know, in order to sell about 5,000 of something, you have to have an audience of about 100,000. Do you have that many on your email list? Because we don't sell on social media. Not very well. If you're going to cold traffic and you're paying for it, which you should be if you're on social media trying to sell, you're going to have less than that 5,000 of 100,000 people. So it's a very, very small percent of cold traffic that are going to buy a program from you first. It is so very, very important for you to really understand the value of getting help early and knowing your numbers. Sometimes to get help, you need to know, because those will be some of the first questions asked by me as a coach is, how much are you making? How much do you need to make? How much of a gap is there? What are you selling? How much does it cost? How many of them have you sold? Really, are you paying yourself what you're worth in time? And what are ways that we can grow that? And we look at that. First of all, we have a 3-step process. We want to get you more people, more traffic, more business. Number 2, we want to make sure that you're profiting from that business. You can't be earning $10 an hour if you're a highly qualified coach or trainer. And then number 3, we make sure we guard your time. So we're not just backing you into a corner, meaning you have to work every hour that you earn $1. It's exchanging time for money that we want to get out of that. But I will also tell you that it is one of the fastest ways to get to a point where you can relax. You can actually be earning enough income to begin working on the back end where you have smaller things that you can sell in greater numbers. But you want to start with something that helps you calm down, relax, and know you are safe, especially if other people are leaning on you too. Okay, so biggest takeaways for today. Get help growing that fitness business. You're going to always, from this point on, collaborate with other business owners, with other coaches, with other fitness and health business owners. You may see them in a smaller world in your past as competitors, but honestly, they are also your best collaborators. In some way, they're doing something slightly different than you, and you may want to eventually send your own traffic to them. If that traffic on your site is not taking action, why wouldn't you want to do this? When you're really in it to help people, we absolutely want to be sure that we're able to help them find a match, even if it's not us. All right, big takeaways here, get help. And prior to that, I mentioned earlier, offering a program, going all out and building it. Number 1, you don't have to build it. Don't have to build the whole thing. Start with an idea. Justify that idea by making sure people want it. And use the title that appeals to them. Let them vote on it. Tell them or let them tell you their greatest problems, and then go about solving them with what it is that you're creating. Test everything, the title, the copy, the images that you're using, and keep going. Don't give up. If you know this is something that your audience needs, the problem that you may have right now is you have not packaged it up in a way that they want it. And that is something we've all got to do. All right. What are you waiting for? The world needs us right now more than ever. I'd love for you to go to the show notes if you want to do that. That's where you can download any of the assets, the health and fitness business scorecard by going to fitnessmarketingmastery.com/growing your health business. The world needs you right now more than ever. Let's do this.